Welcome to SmartLoving Insights. This episode is titled Newly Married and Already at Risk.
Why do some marriages unravel within a decade? We have a personal stake in the question. 3 of our own children are newly married, but there's a bigger reason too. Research suggests that what eventually breaks a marriage often takes root in the first 5 years. Long before a marriage formally ends, it quietly begins to come apart. The shared dream dims and conversations turn to conflict or to silence. There may be a temporary separation and a great deal of family pain before one or both spouses conclude that the situation is unbearable and unrecoverable.
In Australia, one of the few countries that records this measure, the median time from wedding day to permanent separation is around 9 years. The divorce isn't final until later, but for many couples, the final separation is the point at which the marriage relationship, for all practical purposes, ends. That 9-year figure hides something important. The distress usually builds for years beforehand, and its roots can reach right back to the beginning. It is in these early years that a couple's foundations and relational patterns are laid down, for better or for ill. And here is the hope we want to hold out from the start. The very season that makes a marriage fragile is also the season in which it can be made strong.
Of course, decline isn't every couple's story. Even in countries where divorce is common, many marriages, often the majority, endure and do so with grace. Thriving marriages have just as much to teach us as the ones that don't. We can learn as much from a success story as from a cautionary tale. That conviction sits behind a research project we've begun on the gifts and challenges of newly married life in the Catholic context. We've hosted a roundtable with colleagues and surveyed them for their insights, and a survey of newly married couples themselves will open in the coming months.
One theme keeps surfacing in discussion with colleagues. Healthy, visible examples of lifelong married love are becoming scarce, where once a young couple could look to their extended family and parish and see marriages that had weathered the decades, many now find few. Part of this is simple arithmetic. A great many couples approach the altar as survivors of family fracturing. In Australia, just under half of all divorces involve children under 18, and the rate is higher again in USA. Many more were raised in families where parents never married or formed permanent partnerships.
Those who lived through their parents' divorce did so not as impartial bystanders, but as vulnerable children, directly affected. If they remember their parents together at all, what they often recall most vividly is marriage at its worst. The arguments, the tears, the desperation, the loss of parental attention as the adults struggled to cope. A generation that grew up amid marital dysfunction or absence has fewer first-hand models of how two people stay, struggle, and flourish together over a lifetime.
Marriage breakdown is something nobody wants, but is all too common. For the spouses, it can mean the loss of a dream, of financial security, of friendships and family ties. For the children, unacknowledged grief, unresolved frustration, unhealed wounds can surface years later in their own marriage. Sometimes it undoes them, but it doesn't have to. For someone carrying a fractured family history, marriage can be difficult and redemptive at the same time. It is a demanding journey and not one a couple should walk alone.
This is where the rest of us come in. As a community of faith, couples especially, this is our moment to step up. Newly married couples need living examples of married love, and they need mentors willing to walk beside them. They don't need speeches and grand gestures. What they need is everyday exposure to real couples who are serious about their own marital health. An encouraging word after Mass, an invitation to dinner, meaningful conversations and empathetic support. It takes a village to raise a marriage. Let's not leave our newly marrieds to do it alone.
You've been listening to SmartLoving Insights. You can find more great content, on-demand courses and relationship coaching at smartloving.org.
SmartLoving engaged online. Before getting married in the Catholic Church, many priests and dioceses require that a couple completes a marriage preparation course to prepare themselves for the sacrament of marriage and to support them with helpful relationship tools. SmartLoving Engaged Online is a course which will give you the tools to make your marriage the best it can be. The course is comprised of 9 lessons. When the course is complete, you will be emailed a certificate and a course report to give to your celebrant. Work at your own pace when it suits you. The SmartLoving Engaged curriculum has ecclesiastical approval and is approved for use in numerous dioceses throughout the world, including Australia, New Zealand, the UK, USA, and Asia. Visit smartloving.org/engaged. Gift certificates are also available if you would like to purchase the Engage course for a friend or family member.